Okay, so I want to talk about two things today, and those two things are, we're going to talk about computers and technology. And I'm not going to say in the classroom, I just want to say just using it, okay? And then next we're going to talk about the life of an ALT. And I want to do that last because I think it's more important, so you remember at the end. So I'm going to go through the first part a little fast, okay? And so I can finish this. I'm going to ask you, if you guys don't understand something, you can raise your hand and say, oh, one more time. Or, I'm going to look for this, okay? You can do this.
This means what?
This means like, if you want me to like, you don't understand, you want me to clarify, I'll do that. Or you can like rub your nose, doesn't matter. Okay, so that way, if you have a question and you don't want to raise your hand, stop the class, then I can clarify. Because I'm going to go a little fast today. I don't have that much time. Okay? Okay. First. Okay. I'm going to talk about computers and technology in the classroom. But this is also if you want to use it not in the classroom. You can't see my face, huh? I can't see your face. Okay. These are different technologies. This is my laptop, and I've had it since I went to Japan. So I used it for 4 years out in Japan. That's the lightsaber. Okay, so first we're gonna play a game.
Yay.
Okay, this is the little warm-up. Do you know Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to make teams. I want you to make teams of 4 or 5. So please get into groups.
Team guys.
Team guys. No. Well, yeah. Make groups. We're gonna play Jeopardy. Okay. You guys okay?
Yeah.
Groups are okay. So this is the MEXT Jeopardy. Okay. You guys okay? Great. Okay, we're gonna play a little game that I like to use as this as a review game. It's a little difficult to make, so this is very advanced, but this is something that after 4 years I could make. And I had a template, and I can change the questions all the time. So these are the categories. Okay, we have bigger, history, people, video, so that's like a video Jeopardy, and word scramble. Everything is like scrambled up. We're only gonna go to 500 points because you guys are adults. I think you guys know the questions really well. Okay, so each team choose one member, and I want you to play Janken for first place. Okay, so representative, you stand up and you play. Sorry, we are two. Oh, you.
3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Okay, so you back to your area. You go back. Okay, so you're gonna choose the category. And in Jeopardy, you say.
Yes.
You're gonna say.
Wow.
You're gonna say category for $500. Okay, so if you want to say bigger for $500. That's how we play this game. Okay, so I'm gonna let you choose.
History.
Okay, history for 500. Okay, and anybody. We're making this quick. I can't do these. So we're only playing 500.
Okay.
Because you're smart. Okay, this is gonna be easy for you. Okay, so if you know the answer, please raise your hand, and I will choose you.
Anyone can win.
Anybody can raise their hand. Okay, question number 1 for 500 points. Okay, the Meiji Constitution was written in Wow. Please read the question. Please read the
The
sentence.
Meiji Constitution was written in 1890.
That is correct. What's your team number? Wait, what? Team 1?
Team 1.
Team Yes, you. You're three?
Yes.
And then you are
Four.
four. So yes, the Meiji Constitution was written in 1890. That is correct. Okay, so this is, what is the grammar point? We're using passive tense. Okay. Passive tense. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Okay. So you have control. So please choose a new category. So this is all
Video.
video for
500.
500. Okay. Okay, so please watch the video. I'm going to ask you a question if you know the answer. Video. Okay. What movie is this? Yes.
Singing in the rain.
Okay. Okay, yes, that is correct. It is Singing in the Rain. Is that team?
Three.
Three.
Yeah. Oh no. Another one. All right, yay! Good job. So the movie is called It's Singing in the Rain, and Cary Grant. Very nice movie. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? No?
Yes.
Good movie. Okay. Now Singing in the Rain. Now press the back button. Go back. Okay. So now you still have choice. Please choose your
Word
category.
scramble 500.
Word scramble for 500. So there's going to be a word and it's all mixed up. You know the answer. Please say it. A little difficult. Okay. You're smart. Yes.
Science.
Bing bong. Come on! Scientists! Okay, this was from a chapter in 3rd grade New Horizon book. And so, you know, usually the students would know like all of the different vocabulary. Today, another 500 points. So that's a really easy thing you can do with using PowerPoint. Do a word scramble. Yep. And this is actually a Mac version, but you can do the same things on PowerPoint. Okay, you have 2 more categories. Please choose.
Bigger for 500.
Okay, so bigger is like comparing things, I guess. You know the answer? This one. Okay. Mr. A is shorter than Mr. B. Mr. B is shorter than Mr. C. Mr. D is taller than Mr. B. Mr. C is shorter than Mr. D. Who is the tallest? Yes.
Mr. D is the tallest.
Mr. D, yes. That is correct. Okay. So Mr. D is the tallest, and so you know that's comparing things. That's a 2nd grade review. And then the last category I will choose for you is people for 500. Okay, please fill in the blank. Yes.
John Lennon was the artist who was killed in 1980.
That's right. Yes, John Lennon. That's team number 1. Okay, so today's winner for Men's Jeopardy. Okay, so you can choose. You can choose one. That's that's Jeopardy. Yeah, I like using Jeopardy for review, and everything you do, you can like you make a clickable, you can click on it and it opens the slide. It's a little difficult, but it's something that I liked doing after 4 years on the Jeopardy. Okay, let's get back. Okay. Okay, so how many teachers currently use a computer in the classroom or has a computer? Great. Okay, good. And then all the teachers that don't have, do you have like a little TV cart like that that you can push around?
Yeah.
You don't have anything? You have like a...
I'll try that.
Well,
Right.
Try.
you should try, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Okay, so why do you use a computer in the classroom? Anybody? Why do you use it in the classroom?
It's easy to prepare beforehand.
Right? Okay.
Gives you the students some visual, which will help them.
Great.
To save time.
Yeah. Well, and I want to make a comment about saving time because I think when you first do it, it takes a long time. But you know, the next year you save so much time now, and then the year after that, it just gets more and more and faster. Anything else? Anybody else?
The student get used to new technologies, how to
Yeah, and I want to say that students are more used to this technology than a lot of us are. One other thing I want to say is connect, like the 4 skills. So instead of just speaking something,
Yeah, it's good.
oh yeah. So instead of just speaking, you can also have a picture. Or if you are, if they're writing something, you can also have them listen to something. So I always like to combine multiple skills into one lesson. That way, I think that for different learners and different types of learners, you can get them to memorize it in their own way. Something that I think is important is making it meaningful too. By meaningful, I mean you make the context so that they can understand. So if I'm speaking and maybe a student misses something, there's like a visual cue that pops up, and then they can still get the meaning. Engage the students, and that's, I found that when I started using just technology in the classroom, just for new words that the students were looking. Sometimes you don't want them to look, and sometimes it's a good idea to turn off the TV and walk around. And that's why I like using the remote, because I don't like being in front of the TV and doing this all day. I like to walk around so the students are looking at me. And you guys said something. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my rules, and the main thing for me is to make it meaningful. And meaningful has a lot of meaning, right? Meaningful for me means to make it personalized and to make it so there's something that student understands. One of the questions I like to use for the Jeopardy game about the bigger is I always ask, who is the tallest teacher at Nanai Chugako? And then the students, they know the teachers, and even if they don't understand the meaning of tallest yet, when I say, oh, it's Mr. Sato, they're like, oh, yeah, he's the tallest. So by connecting the personal aspect, you're creating more meaning for them. Make it relevant, make it personal. That's what I just said. I like doing things that are popular. We were talking about that at the panel. And seasonal. There are certain pages in the book that always fall during like New Year's or during like a certain season. So when you do that lesson, I always say make it fit with the season. Especially, when they go on their school trips, my teacher always saves, like there's a one page about writing about your school trip. They always save that until after the school trip. Okay, and then whatever you make, I say you have to make it last forever. If you're going to make something and you're going to throw it away, then that's a waste of time, that's a waste of material, that's a waste of, of the planet. So whatever you make it last forever, and by that I mean, make it quality and consistent, and then I always use a laminator for any word cards that I make. And I like to use photo paper with the laminator, and it makes a really strong card. And it costs a little bit more, but I've had like the same cards over 4 years. And when something gets broken, you can just put a little piece of tape in it. Yeah, and then I always say, make it yours. Okay, everything that you make should have your personal style in it. You know, so I like to be funny. I like to use humor. So a lot of my things, I use a lot of jokes, and I like to make fun of myself. You know, so I'll have myself, so the students laugh at me. But it's important that, you know, if you maybe borrow something from somebody, if a teacher says, hey, I have this, you shouldn't just use it. You should also change it. You know, you should change it for your school and for your style. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a bad teacher. I can you pass time.
No.
I'm sorry. I made you write too much. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so you can make notes in the corner. I always like to give out the PowerPoint. Teach to the highest level. So this is something I learned from my teacher for my theories of second language acquisition. She always said teach to the highest level. Okay, so you're going to teach to your best students. But with technology, and this is why I love technology, is that you can keep it simple too. So you can always be teaching more, but you can create context and meaning from the PowerPoint. So, and I'll show you an example of like what I did before, but this is, I think, is really important, is that you can, even a student that doesn't understand English, that never passed first grade English, at third grade level, you should still look at the, you know, look at your PowerPoint and understand in Japanese what's happening, you know. Even if you don't ever speak a word of Japanese, if he looks at the different cues, he can maybe follow along. Okay. That's what I mean by teach the highest level, keep it simple. Okay, different ways to present. Maybe you guys know this really well, some people don't, but I like to give a little information. This is a CRT monitor. This is what I had at my school, my first year. And I had to push this to each classroom. Yeah, CRT monitor. Yeah.
Part? CR.
No, it means cathode ray tube monitor. That's just it's a strange thing. It's the old big TV. It's not widescreen. But this is what I would push every day to the class. And on the second floor, the TV was like this small. So it was really difficult, but I always made it a point, before class, I would push the cart to TV, and I would meet the teacher at the room. A lot of you guys might have these new ones. We received one like my second, third year. The one that we had in my school, it also had a touch panel, so I could just like hit the screen, and it would slide to the next. This is the back of your TV. Ooh, scary, right? Okay, scary. Okay, composite cable, RCA cable. There's many different names. I just call it the red, white, yellow cable. And this is what you'll need when you use it with this. Okay, my computer actually has all these adapters. So I was lucky because my laptop I could plug in to just a regular TV. A lot of the new. So yeah, I have this cable, and then I could plug it into there. But a lot of the new laptops, they can't do that anymore. So this one is nice. I could use the VGA cable, which I will get to. The VGA cable, which is the normal one. There's a lot of different names. Sometimes, like this one says RGB, which means red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. This is a DVI, and actually nobody uses it anymore. Because now the new standard is HDMI. And the nice thing about HDMI, if your TV, all the new TVs have it, is this also has audio on it. So you can do the video and audio at the same time. And this is really important, and is to actually get these adapters. And you can go to like Yodobashi, or you can go to like, I don't know, all those other stores. And this lets you plug in from the TVs right here into maybe something else. I always say keep some of these. And Now the new feature thing is this. So you can plug into here and then into your laptop. So, and when I went to class, I always carried a bag like this, and it had all my notebooks and my textbooks and like my cards and then all of my cables. So I was always ready for any moment. Okay, VGA, you know where that goes. HDMI, that's the new one, and this one can go to many different places.
Yeah.
So who has? So that's the thing, and you have to get used to the technology. You know, if you have a TV, you just have to become aware of how you're going to change things and how you press the input button to change between HDMI and VGA. And this was something that we had. This is the TV that we had at elementary school. And so it was in the music room. So we always did my English class for elementary school in the music room because I didn't want to push it to each room every period. I got very tired. Okay, so this is really important, and I call it collecting and organizing, because when you start using technology in the classroom, it's great. It's a good idea to save everything. You know, so if you find pictures on the internet, I like to use Google Images, and Google Images is great because if you go to the search tool, I don't know what it is in Japanese. But you can change like the size of the picture you want. You can choose colors. So if you want a yellow chicken, you can choose yellow chicken. If you wanted a purple chicken, they will find you all the purple chickens in the world. And then this is nice too. If you want to find clip art, which is, you know, it's not real photo, you can do that. And I save everything. So when you download this picture, you know, you put it in a folder. Another great website that you guys might not know about is Flickr. And you don't have to have an account, but people put up their own pictures, and a lot of them are free to use. You can maybe ask them, but you can find really good detailed pictures. So if I'm looking for a picture of somebody who was dancing in Hokkaido, I would find it on Flickr. So, it's great. Okay, so this is the most important thing is to save pictures and documents in folders, okay, and then organize them. So this is an example of on my computer. I have all my printout materials, which are the pictures I've downloaded from Google, and I put them into categories. So there's like action or animals and body and family and food, okay. And I think that's really important because if you don't have the internet one day, you can still do your work. And then the next thing you have to do is I say rename your pictures. Okay? So change them because you know when you get them from Google, it's like 108 purple dirt W. Rename it to something meaningful. So if it's a chicken picture of a chicken, then you do chicken 1 or yellow chicken or chicken yellow. But yeah, so this is how I organize all of my lesson materials. This is important. When you do your lessons, I do everything is first grade. So it goes first grade, and then page number, and then maybe game about something. Okay? Because because on anybody's computer, on Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Mac, you can use a search function. And if you wanted, so my teachers, they come up to me and say, Bob, I need a lesson for, page 10, second grade. Then I say, oh, no problem. And then I do a search, and I say, oh, I have 2 lessons. Do you want to do the speaking one or the writing one? But, I know a lot of teachers, you have your folder. You have your drawer, you pull it out, and you're like, oh. And then you're like, oh no, the paper is ripped, Again, not a good idea. I say you find it fast, you print it, you make copies, you go to class. That's like 2 minutes preparation that you do. You already did the work last year, right? So, yeah, and this is warm-up and reviews. I have worksheets, and I organize them into first grade, second grade, third grade, and everything's by the page number. And I know the books change, and you have to start over, but a lot of these same ideas, you can just change the picture, change the page number, and you're back on. And I say keep everything. even like sometimes when I get papers from the teacher that she made a worksheet, I was like, yeah, you made a worksheet. Then I like to scan things. Okay? So everybody, like this scanner came to my school one day, and people were like, what is this? So they forgot about it. But it's a really nice scanner, and it scans back and front. Okay? And so I would take that and I would scan the worksheets into my computer. I would rename it, put it in my folder, and then if I ever had to use that again, I could use it. But also, when you put it on your computer, you can edit it. You know, you can change the picture, you just put like another picture over and print. Okay. Okay, so what can you do with technology? Let's get to work. Okay, I'm gonna give you. We talk about worksheets. Okay. These are some examples of some worksheets that I made. Okay, we're just gonna. So this is like, you know, if you want to copy these or if you actually want to use these, we're just gonna flip through. And this is all these pictures here. Look at page 1. All these pictures here I got from New Horizon. I scanned the book, you know, and then I just cut something out and I put it where I wanted to put it. So I made bingo, really easy, and then the students, they understand from the book, you know, a lot of those images. The books have really great pictures, and that's why I like to use them. Okay, page number 2. This was first grade, one of the speaking parts, and I like to change things to make it big bubbles instead of, yeah. It's funny. And then I always like to put like pictures, so they always have to draw the face. So the students call it kaonashi. And I say, no, it's your face, you know, draw your face. And so this is a great way you can take an actual page from the book, and then you put the blanks, and you make the students fill it out. And it's easy. And it's in the book. And they already have, like, they've been doing the practice readings, but now you can make it, change it, and you can make it into a skit. Same thing with page number 3. Okay. I like to change it so it's not just, in this original lesson it's a ticket, the lady drops a ticket. But you know, my students like to say, oh, you dropped your bomb, or you dropped your gun. Yeah. But I like them to use humor. Page number 4. These are just easy. You take pages from the book and you just, you know, you're covering things up and you're making boxes. If you look at page number 5, this is a battleship game that I made. Battleship is really hard. Has anybody played Battleship? It's really hard to teach at first, but if you play it a lot, the students, they know how to do it. And I think it's a good way to just get them to practice speaking. You know, you practice multiple times. Okay, page number 6. This is the first year, when I was a first year teacher, this is what I did. Okay? This map is of my town in Wakuya. And it's a really difficult map because I tried to make it realistic. And you know, I used a lot of information, and my students, they couldn't understand because they couldn't follow the lines. Because I wanted to make it real, you know, I wanted to be like, okay, my students can understand. So look at page 7, and this is on my 3rd year. So this is what it becomes, you know. This is how I make it simpler, you know, keep it simple. And you know, instead of going to Wakuya, they live there, they go to Sendai now. And Sendai has nice, easy streets. Okay? So now they can actually follow it. And there's less things, but you know, it's easier for them to understand. Okay, look at page number 8. And this is my first year. I made I tried to make one of the skits. And there's a lot of information. There's too much, and there's no real there's no context for the students. But if you turn the page, then it gets easier. You know, so I tried to make it simpler, put more meaning for the students. But it took me a long time to figure out that I had to, you know, I wasn't teaching what I wanted to teach. I had to teach to their level. So, okay, so please keep this. If you have any questions about the worksheets, please ask me. We'll some worksheets. Okay, making materials. And by making materials, this is if you don't have the computer in your classroom, this is where you can start to be creative. Because we had a nice color laser printer at my school. Did you have one? Or, I mean, even if you just have it, you know, like an okay inkjet, I would always laminate all of my big A3 papers, because then you could put magnets on it. Everything I had always had magnets. And in my bag, I always had like the magnets from Daiso, and you just throw them on the wall. I like to make picture cards. And I was saying I use photos. Laminate, make it last forever. Another thing you can do, I like to do, is when you make a presentation for class, you can print your PowerPoints by 9s, so then you can make cards. So the things that you made, now you can print them by 9s. So there's 9 on one page, and then you can cut those out. Lesson materials, I always like to make these big maps, and I would print them out. And you know you have the big paper, the dry, you know, the very big printer that you put the machine in, and it looks like a fax machine. I loved using that. I use that all the time. And I used that if I was doing a worksheet, I would print a very big copy so I could write with them. Word cards. So my project over 4 years was to make new word cards for every grade, and I would print them out and give them to every single teacher. So then they would, but that was a project, you know, I wanted to do something. Games, okay? So this is a simple board game that I found online, and I changed it to make it like mine. And I would print out these picture cards, or these question cards, and cut them out so the students would have to ask questions. You know, Battleship. And Battleship is one of those games you have to print the big paper. You put it on the board, and you have to show them step by step how to do it. Okay? Picture cards. I'm really sad because when I left Japan, I gave all of my material to the new ALT. But I wish that I had saved some of it, because I made some really nice things. I wish I could show you some of the things right now. But for this, like I used this first grade, second grade, third grade, and all of my elementary school lessons. You know, it's very, you can use it anywhere. And I always like to keep it in my little bag of tricks, like maybe just something about foods. So if you're doing a warm-up, you always have some cards to throw around. Okay? So this is a PowerPoint that I had made about chairs and classroom objects. And you know, there's all these things. And then when you print it, you can do a print save 9, cut it out. You got word cards, and then you can use that in class for a game. Okay, this is the big thing, okay? This is an advanced skill, and this is something that I really liked doing. I like making storytelling using PowerPoint. Okay? So I'm going to show you. Who knows the Hungry Lion?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is fun. Okay, we're going to do Hungry Lion. Okay, so this is something everybody can do. You can use PowerPoint to do this.
I change it.
This is something that I like because, you know, these are the characters I like. And just okay, one day. Who wants to read this for me? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
One day, a hungry lion slowly came out of the forest. Hungry lion. He wanted some food.
I want to say. Okay, next, please popcorn. Popcorn to somebody else. Choose.
Okay, for me. Oh.
He sat on the grass and looked around. He waited for a long time. The lion saw a rabbit under the tree. He ran after the rabbit.
Usavich. So Usavich was very popular 4 years ago, and I like to use students' name. Okay, so there's no reading here, but I like to show things. This is, you can just take a picture and you just move it around. Okay, next, please choose somebody.
Hi. Jasmine. A deer ran in front of the lion. The lion wanted a big dinner, so he ran after the deer.
Choose.
deer ran away very quickly. The rabbit ran away too. So the hungry lion got nothing.
Choose.
Okay, please.
So the hungry lion got nothing. Sometimes we like this lion.
Yeah. Okay. That took me a very long time. But I wanted to make something that the students could understand. So if they didn't understand any English, they could understand the story, right? If I was speaking to you in Vietnamese, you still would understand the story. Okay. Let's do another one.
Well, did you make that PowerPoint or Keynote?
It's Keynote, but you can make it PowerPoint. I just use Keynote all the time. I'll show you how to do some simple animations after this. Okay, does anybody know this story? Horizon. Okay, this is more advanced. Okay, I'll read this one. There was an old shrine in the village. One day a storm came and washed the shrine away. The storm. The storm came. The next day, people looked for the shrine, okay? But they only found a big hole. People looked into the hole. The hole was deep, dark. Okay. Someone called into it. Hello, can anyone hear me? No echo came back. Okay, a boy. He threw a stone. Okay, this was during the Winter Olympics. So,
Oh, man.
okay, he listened, but there was no sound. People heard about the hole on TV. They came from far away to see it. Okay, one day, a man said to the people of the village, I'll build a new shrine for you, but you must give me the hole. Okay? The people agreed. Okay? The people agreed. There we go. You have a new shrine. So I got a new dump. Okay. People gave money to the man and dumped things into the hole. Oh man. They dumped garbage, test papers, old love letters, and so on. Okay, trucks came from many places. They dumped industrial waste, that's industrial, nuclear waste, and many other things. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, a few years went by, but the hole did not fill up. People stopped worrying, so this is just this is a line. It's so easy. Because now they had the perfect dump. 100% guaranteed. I like this one. The sea and sky became clear and beautiful. Okay, I like this one. The village became a city. One day, a young man was working on the roof of a new building. He heard a voice from the sky. Hello, can anyone hear me? It said. He looked up, but he only saw the blue sky. He started working again. Something fell from the sky and hit the roof near him, but he did not notice. It was the stone. That took me a very, very...
Outside.
Yeah.
On the picture, that guy working on the roof.
So the picture was in the...
Yeah, but there's only one picture.
Right.
He was looking at the sky.
Yeah, so then I made a copy. So I copied just the part of his body And then, I made it, I covered the rest. Yeah.
So it's a lot of work.
But before you are editing, so
Yeah.
just scan it.
I'll show you. Because you know that nice scanner that I have? I bought my own copies of the book. And I cut them all. I put it in the scanner. Now, let me show you.
ちょうだい。
A storm came.
イメールで送ってね。
You have to buy a bag.
10ドルでどうかな。
Okay, I bought, so the textbooks in Japan are so cheap. Right, it's like 300 yen. Oh man, so cheap. So I bought the book, I bought my own copy, and then I cut the pages. I just used a knife, and I cut. And then I put it into the scanner. And scanner is nice because it just scans front and back. And so the first time I tried this, I used a regular scanner, and I put it on, and then I press scan. And after 1 year, I finished half the book, and I was like, I'm so tired. Because we found the scanner at school, and I used it, and it's great. So I was able to scan the entire book, and it looks really nice. Yeah? And I could use this. So once you have the book scanned, you should do this. Then you can use the materials from the book in your own lessons. So then you can take these characters and then put a mustache on the character. Let me show you what you were asking me. But I think all of your schools should have scanners. Yeah, right? So the man he's talking about, he's only looking up. So what I did is I cut right here, and I just cut that part, and then I repasted it and just changed it like this. And then I put, it would appear and then disappear. And so he would be like this, and then he'd go like that. So a lot of these things are little tricks. And they're not very hard, but you have to think about how to use the trick. It's all tricks. Okay, let's get that. Okay. You know the meaning story.
To make can anyone hear me? How long does this?
I think that took me a week.
A week.
Yeah, but I mean, see, that's what your ALT is for. Ask your ALT.
Yeah.
Okay, I do computer games. You already seen Jeopardy. I make really simple ones for like less, just reviews. This is just I like to use my teachers always say, Bob, we need to review for second term, first grade. And I say, oh, okay. But then, I get the stuff together and say, what's this? And I go, dog. How many? These are all the things from the class. 3 dogs. And then, but we always play in groups. There's always the teams, and then I always had these like flags that I used, and I always had the little marubatsu. Yeah, I always had that in my chicken bags. I loved it. Blah, get rid of it. Dragons and tigers, and you can show. There's too many. Hold on. Let me get But let's see. And so, I can have them use this, use the book, use the fork. I like teaching days, so that. So you could do like a game, but you review every single thing from the chapter. And, that's something you can ask your ALT to do. We're happy to help. Yeah, he will. He loves helping. Okay, and this is some other things that I would use for my first grade. This is in textbook, so it'd be close to you, and then I would always show the arrow, and that's a notebook. So I would show, the key points, and then we would do the game. So then, this is just a transition that's on my computer. And then, the students can answer. And it's close to you. It's very close to her. So it's like this is a tiger. And that one's far. Okay, so really easy. I used the character from the book, but I also had these pictures that I already had on my computer. You can make things small, you can make things close, you can show the difference. This is cool. Yeah, for second grade, learning about biggest, I would just ask questions. What is the largest city in America?
New York?
That's right. Who said that?
Yes.
Can't be missed.
That's right, New York. Okay, what is the biggest animal in the world?
Where?
Raise your hand. Okay, where? Okay, what is the closest planet to the sun? In English. Sorry.
In English.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yes.
Mercury.
Mercury.
Next question.
Okay. And so, as I got better at doing this, I could, I used more Japanese in my text. As I understood Japanese better, it was easier for me to use it, But this is where you can help your ALT, You say, hey, I want you to put this in there. Keiyoshi, I love Keiyoshi. So then you can review the lesson in the game, and then, I don't like speaking, so I just let them read now. So now, look, when I'm speaking, there's the second skill, right? So now they're also reading. And that's a good way, to connect 112 to 112 words. Okay, so you're going to take the word, the adjective, the keiyoshi, okay? You're going to make a question. You're going to make a sentence for me. That's right. Meadow is colder than Kyushu. Repeat after me. Okay, famous. This is easy. Come on. Who's that? Again, go. Make a story. Make a sentence.
Bob is more famous.
Go ahead.
Bob is more famous than Brad Pitt.
Boo. No, that's wrong. Brad Pitt is more famous than Bob. Yeah. Okay. And then, so those are games. We talked about worksheets and making materials. After a while, I started making my own lessons on the textbook. And this is what I think the ideal use of technology is, okay? You can make the lessons easier to understand. You can also, I like to, because it organizes my ideas, Instead of just talking and going here and there. I think that the lessons on the PowerPoint help me organize. Okay? You can use more English in the classroom now. Now, the students can understand more meaning from the TV. Because you can put Japanese words or you can use pictures to show context. Like I said, organized lessons. I think this is from second grade. Okay, so this is how I would start the lesson. We would do the warm-up, the introduction. Then I tell the students to open their textbooks to page 4. And we would go over the new words. Okay, so everybody repeat after me. News. Was. Okay, so why is this red?
Because it's a verb.
Thank you. Well, it's a verb. Okay. So I always use colors for things. I use red for verbs, and then yellow for adjectives, and then purple for jodoshi or something. Okay. 1,000. T-shirt. T-shirts. Word. Store. How much? 1,000. 2,000. Okay, and then I would also, I would put I would just copy and paste and then do another time. You don't have to do it. Not enough time. And then you can check the meaning this way. I think it's a lot easier. News. What's news? Oh, sorry. You get the point. And all of this I got from the back of the book. So I didn't want to make my own meaning, that I had learned because it was just too much. I like to use exactly what the students had in the back. So when they looked at the glossary in the back, that's the exact same one that I had. And these I also used to give to my teachers. Because now I had the new word cards, I could just give it to them. How much? Okay, and then I would go into today's key point, and this I copied from the book. I just copied that, I put it in. I don't have to do that much work. And then we go over this. I know that a lot of teachers like to also write additional things, and that's where PowerPoint isn't fun. Because you can't make those extra notes unless you've thought ahead of time. Unless, who has a smartboard? Okay, so you're lucky. Because now you can still write, and who has an iPad? Who wants to use an iPad in the classroom? Okay, because then, with the iPad you can still write, depending on the app. Okay, because this is where I don't think PowerPoint is very good. Because now I can't make an additional note. Okay, unless this was a whiteboard and I could actually write on this board right now. Okay? So you have to think about how you want to teach your lesson. But for me, this was, I'm just going over the material. And now this is stuff in the book, so we're just going to work on this cap, 1,000 yen, for the context. I don't have to speak any Japanese, okay? And it's all right there. The students can see the pictures. Okay, so now they know that they're supposed to use was. Okay? And then now I can switch it around, move it, and then we can make a question out of it, right? You have to add there's an extra period. No. Yes, it was. Okay. No, it wasn't. And so this is a way that, the lessons from the book, and I'm just putting it onto the computer. Let's skip ahead. Okay, here's, this is from 3rd grade. And the same thing, new words. Time, braille, meaning, braille, and this doesn't take that much time because you're just copying from the book. And this is a good thing I think you can let your ALTs do. Say, hey, you got time. And this I copied from the book. Oh, sorry, there's the circle supposed to be over his face. Oh, so, then I could do the reading together with them. Because I always have to do the reading. It was invented by a Frenchman. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Wow, that's weird. Louis Braille! See, that's weird. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. You can copy the pages into the book, and then you read together. That's not too hard. Okay. So those are some ideas that I gave you. I'm going to show you a quick tutorial. You can take notes on this one. I'm going to use PowerPoint because most of you guys use Windows. Okay? Fun. Okay. And we're going to do everything from the internet, too. Sorry. Anybody have any questions? Comments?
How much?
Is it possible for you to put this data? We have the database.
I can, but the only issue is it's in Keynote, which I don't know if the poster is.
No, it's not the Postgres. We have SkyDrive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can you put that
I
so
can-
that everyone can have have access to it?
I'll do it two ways. I'll put it on PowerPoint and then not PowerPoint, Keynote, which if you have a Mac you can use it, but I can make a QuickTime video which saves all of the transitions. So you just press next on any computer, as long as it has QuickTime, it'll do it. So you can see it, you're not going to be able to edit that though. Okay, I use Google. I like using, so this is what I was talking to you about. Wow, this is in French. That's strange. There's a French student here. Okay, I'm going to make a story. That's a bat. I like to just copy onto the wall, on there. I took a picture of myself the other day. Just gonna stick that in there. Okay, I'm gonna open PowerPoint. And so, okay, so bat 4, that's okay. That's a good name, right? I can call it brown bat if I wanted to, but that's not. Okay, I'm gonna open up my folder here. This is something you have to learn is the shortcuts are very important, okay? Doing like an alt-tab between things is very important because it makes you faster. And what you want to be able to get is really fast at everything you do, okay? I took this beautiful picture of myself the other day. I'm going to use it in our little lesson, okay? Oops, sorry. And I don't like to use the full screen because I like to take the pictures and just drag them into here. Okay? So, but if you use full screen, then you have to go to home or insert and choose picture. That's really slow. You don't have to do that. I'm going to make a little scenario. Okay? Here's my bat. The bat's okay. Here's this. Okay. PowerPoint's a little strange because you have to hold shift in the corner to make it the same size. So I'm going to put my face on the bat. I like to do that. So we have a background now, right? But, so I can't do that. There's a great tool in PowerPoint. Okay. It's in picture format. Okay. This little tab that pops up, the picture tools, picture format. You are going to do remove background.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. You also have it on Keynote. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you're just going to put this around here. You're going to get everything to be purple that you want to be purple. What are you laughing at? Okay, and I'm okay. That's okay. So I'm going to press OK. And so now, it's white, it's clear in the back, so I can put it over the bat and then find my bat. Okay. So that looks pretty good, right? So now, when I move the head, then the body doesn't go, right? Control Z is really nice. Control Z is undo. And I'm going to hold Shift and click. And now I chose two things. And I'm going to right click, and I want to do group. So I want to put it together. So now he's going to move together. Yeah? So Bat Bob, and I can, I'm going to change the size of Bat Bob. But I want to make this a story. So in the story, Mr. Bat Bob. Yeah? Bat Bob. Bat Bob. Bat Bob. Okay, I'm going to add a shape. Because I'm going to make this a story about a bat who moves around. Okay? We're going to change the color, so I'm going to make this into grass. Okay? So now we have a bat and we have the grass. Oh no. So I want Bat Bob to be in front, right? So you're going to right click, and when you right click, you can set bring to front. Okay, so now Bat Bob's in the front. Great. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do an animation, okay? And this is really important. It's not a transition, it's called an animation. And I want Mr. Bat Bob. Okay? He's going to do a motion. And then, there's a tutorial that I showed you. So right now he's moving there. I want him to move. Whoops. want him to move here. Let's preview that. Oh! Okay. Motion. Yeah, great thing. This is like, you know, how I was doing the guy, you know, Usavich running around. This is exactly, and you can make, this is a straight line, you can make like an arc, so you can make an arc, okay? But I want to do more, because this is a story, and Matt Bob, sorry, was very far away, okay? She's a small bat. But he's coming at us, right?
一番右側に背景を削除でもある。
I'm going to make Bad Bob also, I want him to get bigger. Hold up. Where is that? Let's make it bigger. Oh. You're right. Hey, which one is it?
More.
あ、まだ遊びから始めてるね。遊び
Oh,
から。遊びから
right.
始めてる。
Thank you. It's right there. Okay, I want Bad Bob to grow, right? And how big can I make it grow? Oh, yeah, I should do this. Okay, let me try it again. So I'm going to add more emphasis. And now we're going to re. So here you can like change the order of things. So now he's going to grow first, or he's going to grow later. Okay, and then he's going to move. But we want him to come at the same time, right?
Which is more convenient for you, Keynote or PowerPoint?
Well, I'm just showing you PowerPoint because you all have PowerPoint, but Keynote.
Keynote.
Yeah, I've used it for over 5 years, and it just.
But what's the difference? Because you just get used to using the Keynote, or they have more functional one.
I want to say it's easier to use Keynote because
It's simple and visible.
there's more shortcuts. So I can actually do more with shortcuts.
Okay, we can do maybe the same thing, but with PowerPoint we can take two steps. The Keynote has.
Maybe, but I think when you get fast, I'm not very good at this, so I'm sorry. It's a little different on the Mac, and that's why I'm having a little issue. Sorry. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go at the same time. I don't want to do 1, 2. I want 1 and 2 to go with the previous. Okay, so now it's grouped together. So when I preview, he's gonna fly and he's gonna get bigger, right? Okay, that's the thing I wanted to do. Okay, and I wanted to put some more. Let's put a mountain in here. I think mountains are nice. I'm gonna put a mountain. And what color is the mountain? Let's make it brown. And it's winter, right? Is it winter? Let's make it a winter mountain. And snow is white. Okay. I'm going to put that together in a group. And put it right here, but then I'm going to bring this to the front now. Okay, so what's going to happen, he's going to fly, he's going to disappear, right? So we're going to have to do that thing again. I'm going to bring it to the front. Okay, and then bats, what do they fly in the daytime or the nighttime?
Nighttime.
Okay, so I'm going to, let's do one last thing. And I'm gonna send this to the back. Again, and I'm gonna change this color. But now I'm gonna make it I'm gonna make an animation so that it fades in. I'm gonna change the order now, right? So we want it to be nighttime. So now we have it becomes nighttime, and then that bulb flies at you. Okay? That took about, I don't know, 5 minutes. If you get really good at these things and you have all your images, it'll take much faster. Okay? So this is possible for anybody to do. It takes time, it takes, commitment, and, you can also use your ALT. If you say, hey, I put a link on the quick tutorial part. It might be really small, but if you search on, Google, you will probably be able to find like a lot of tutorials in Japanese about removing color and about animations. And those are all the things that I use to make this possible. Okay? Alright. I got the book. That wasn't too bad. Okay, tutorial is over. Okay, closing comments. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. Try new things, and this is where like these different ideas, I copied the guy and I made him go down. I did a lot of these strange little tricks, and a lot of it is like the way that you layer things. I put something white in front so you can't see, and when something goes behind it, it disappears. So when everything was going into the hole, there was a white block in front, and it looked like it was disappearing, but it was just moving behind the object. Okay? So those little things you have to you get used to it, and you just try it, try new things. Learn from others and share. You guys are on this program, but I also think it's a great idea to talk to other teachers, and you talk, during these mid-year conference, you share these ideas with people. Because I don't believe in keeping it all to yourself. I believe you should give everything that you have to everyone. Learn the shortcuts, and this is really important. This makes your job really fast. Because on my Mac, when I want to move something or group, then I hold 2 buttons and I press G. It groups it together. So I don't like using the mouse as much as I can not use it. Ask your ALTs to make materials. That's what our job is. Just ask. And yeah, because we're always on our computers anyway, so we're always on it. Questions? Anybody? Any questions, comments, jokes? Yeah.
Does Keynote have also like animations that you can move?
Yes. Yeah. But so the Keynote on your iPad doesn't have the movements. So
the Keynote iPad and on the iMac are not the same.
they're very similar, but
There are some limitations.
yeah, and it's terrible because I've tried to use, I have my iPad here, and I can hook it up, and I can share it because it's on the iCloud, but I can't use the great, the moving stuff. But if you do more of a simpler lesson, then an iPad would be okay. I'm pretty sure the next iPad and the next Keynote, they're going to be able to add it, and when they do, it's going to be great.
When we make it only this with the player, we can show the same picture, same slide.
Yeah, if you do it on the quick
But you
time.
can't edit it. That's a problem.
No, but you can export.
So
If you
you make this like PowerPoint Keynote with the iMac and you make it in a quick player.
Yeah.
You play it in the Microsoft Office.
Yeah, let me I think I have it somewhere.
QuickTimer is not the player for the video,
QuickTime is a player for the video,
but you
but
can show the PowerPoint other presentation.
yes. Let me show you real quick and then we can move on. I'm going to do this Mina story.
How do you go to next slide?
You just, you would press the next button.
next slide.
Fast forward.
I mean like the right button.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is gonna take too long. Yeah, well, I'll show you later. I don't want to make it right now, but you can do that.
PowerPoint でも
The PowerPoint.
いく人いるけど
And the other thing that's really bad is the converter from Keynote to PowerPoint is really bad. So I've tried to give
They
people.
hate each other.
Yeah, they do hate each other because they both have the animation and the movement, but they can't use it. So it's not compatible.
How about opposite side, like keynote to PowerPoint, something?
It's a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's the same. It's bad. They're not really. They're compatible, but they don't. Their converters don't work very well. Okay, we're gonna go fast. Anybody, you guys want to take a break right now? Cut.
Okay.